Hey everybody, we have a great unboxing for you today. We're going to be unboxing the new kit by Polar Lights, the Star Trek USS Enterprise 1701. This is kind of the reimagined ship that premiered with Star Trek Discovery. So we actually have two things here. We have the light kit, and we're going to look at this in a separate video. It really deserves its own. But this is an add-on you can get that will have fan motors for the Bussards and 37 LEDs to light this ship up. So we're going to take a look at that in a separate video, because right now we're going to focus on the model kit itself. Now, this just arrived, so I'm looking at it for the very first time with you guys, and let's get right to it. So first thing, they have updated the box art, so it's slightly different colors than they've had on a lot of the other kits. We're still mostly the same, with pictures of the crew up on top, and this is branded for Star Trek Discovery. Even though it was announced just in the past couple weeks, this ship is going to be featured in its own show. They're doing a show, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, that's going to feature Captain Pike on this Enterprise. So down on the bottom, you have kind of an advertisement for the accessories you can get. First up is that light kit, which we're going to look at. Colored clear parts. So you'll get additional parts in the light kit, so you don't have to tint your own pieces. And they're also going to be offering an Aztec decal sheet to kind of give it the real complicated pattern you see on the ship. Okay, just some box art on that side. Across the top, we have just a little blurb, build the ship, featured in in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. A couple shots of the ship from the show, and the decal sheet. So first thought, that is a pretty minimalist sheet, just the name, registry, and pennants. And that's about all you need, especially if you'll have Aztec decals to do a lot of the other pieces. On the back, 75 parts, so a pretty good high part count. Clear parts, perfect for lighting. Typical dome base like we're used to. Registry and pennant decals with full color placement guide. Authentic detailing. All right, so let's crack this open and take a look at what we have. Now, as we look at this, I do have the 1/1000th TOS Enterprise nearby, so we can kind of look at parts and sizes compared to this. All right, let's pull this out first. So we get the pretty large dome base, as standard for round 2, and we get a hollow rod. That'll be great for running wires. It is molded in color. So it is silver, and that'll really help with light blocking. So I also have nearby my little discovery, the 1/2500th. And as we look at the saucer, I want to look at this first, and you'll see that even if you're not Aztecing, there's a couple parts here that are a darker metallic color. So you've got about 3 concentric circles, one right here, one about 2/3 of the way out, and one right along the rim. They need to be a darker metallic gray. All right, so let's look at the saucer. So very well molded. You can see we've got parts cut out here for windows, little recessed parts for the phasers, and nicely recessed grid lines. So we can see they have done some engraved lines for those parts that need to be a darker metallic color. So this stripe needs to be a darker metallic. This part along the edge needs to be a darker metallic. And then here, we're supposed to have a darker metallic along here. So you've got a recessed line here that will help you mask, and you'll need to mask off a little bit inside that recessed line as well. So you get a little bit of help doing those other parts. And if you're really going to be a little nerdy about this, most of the existing Aztec patterns won't work because usually on the Enterprise you get 4 sections in a quadrant. Here you've got 6. So the pie slices on the Discovery are 1/12 of a, I'm sorry, 1/24 of a circle. Usually they're 1/16 of a circle. So it is a completely different Aztec pattern, but very well molded. Those windows look absolutely great. And lots of little detail. Here's the bottom. Same thing. Very nicely done windows. Pretty good grid lines. And lots of detailing on the edge. Here are the cutouts for the saucer windows, and that is accurate. They are just vertical slats. There's not 2 different rows on the Discovery Enterprise. It is vertical windows. So here's our first size comparison. We're looking at the 1/1000th TOS Enterprise, and here is the 1/1000th Discovery Enterprise. So you can see much bigger. It is about 1.5 times. Looking at the inside of the saucer, well, I'm willing to bet that those are probably going to be holding LEDs from the lighting kit. If you're doing your own lighting, great little standoffs there to hold your LEDs. And let's look at the size of that saucer again. There you go. All right, here is our next sprue of plastic, and this is the engineering hull and the pylons. So of course they've designed it for lighting. They've released a lighting kit. So no surprise that the pylons are done in 2 halves, and it looks like you get a very nice channel to run wiring in. Cut out at the bottom, cut out on the top, and nice little channel right there. That is so fantastic. Molded in a silvery gray. Very nice detail right there. Very nicely engraved lines. Very crisp windows. We don't see any flash. A good shot at the detail on the deflector dish, the deflector dish housing. And we've got 2 of these, so they must be for the nacelles. And our final silver sprue of plastic are the nacelles themselves. Try and see if we can get it in focus here. Very crisp, very in scale, and lots of good detail on those. Then we get some of the detail parts here, the extra fins. And you get real close there, you can see they really have done a great job kind of with the texture that needs to be on those. And those are textured on both sides. So it'll be really neat to see the lighting kit and how it fits inside there, because we should be able to light up this strip and have fans and lights for the front of the Bussard collectors. And here is our next size comparison between the TOS and the Discovery. So you can see right there, if you were to line it up with the Bussard collector, much longer. Once again, about 1.5 times as big. And so a large part of the piece count is this clear sprue of windows. So of course you get the long grills for the nacelle. The back of the nacelle, just like on the smaller ship, the entire back of the nacelle is a clear part. So you'll paint and light block the outside, leaving this inside clear so that can be lit up. So you'll have to do a couple different layers of paint there to keep that clear part from showing light through. So I think this is interesting. That looks like it is the shuttle bay landing floor and the shuttle bay doors. So those are done in clear because they are supposed to have some lit up parts. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But then you can see those are going to be some clear parts for the windows on the saucer. And a couple of kind of the navigation lights. And I believe those are going to be impulse engines. So take a look at this part right here. Let's look at what that is on the Discovery. So that is that landing floor there and the shell bay doors. And you'll see the little green and red spots there. Those are lights. So obviously this entire part's done in clear, and it must be that you're supposed to mask off just that red and the green and light that up and make the rest of it nice and silver. And this is probably something that very few people will be very interested in, but some of the clear plastic has a very matte texture. So you can kind of see this part is just a little bit rough. And some parts are very, very clear. So these parts where it really matters that they're clear and they're polished, they are. And some of the other parts do have a tiny bit of a rough texture. And I think that must just be kind of some of the production methods. So you can see here just a tiny bit of texture and matting. And then some parts are very clear. Oh, that one's a little bit of texture on it as well. So you can see a little bit of texture on the clear parts. And that's really fine because most of those windows you want them to end up kind of white. But they did a great job on those domes, making sure the domes are very nice, very clear. Here is our decal sheet. So right there, that's the red and the green light for that landing bay floor. Lots of detail on those pennants. But otherwise, just a very simple decal sheet. Just name, registry, pennants, and just a few very small details. We'll have to kind of see where those go. They look like they may be a decal for hatches. All right, let's take a look at our painting guide here. So you can see kind of some of those concentric rings I had mentioned, and get an idea of what the Aztec pattern is supposed to look like. We have the front of the ship, the back of the ship. There's the top. And decal placements on the side. All right, so no paint callouts on this. We'll be a little bit on our own trying to come up with what paints to use, but it's not going to be hard. We're going to go some gray metal colors. We're going to do clear red, clear blue. So not too bad to kind of come up with the paints you'll need. And then the instructions themselves, very clear pictographs. Looks like they have a couple parts keyed, so you can't put them in wrong as long as you're making sure they match up. Looks like on the clear parts we'll have some standoffs to hold LEDs. That means we'll probably be using LED bulbs, not LED strips to light that grill. Yeah, a lot of windows for the saucer. But yeah, pretty standard construction. All right, guys, make sure to put in the comments below anything else you want to see of this kit before I start building it. Anything that you want to see really good detailed pictures of, I'm glad to take pictures. I'm glad to do another video showing you anything you want to look at. But we're going to start building this in just the next day or so. And it is really exciting. It is really kind of cool to... It's really kind of cool to see this ship updated into this. And this was a fun little kit last year, but it is going to be very fun to do it in a scale like this. It's going to be just absolutely fantastic to get a good bookshelf size model of this Enterprise. So stick with the channel. We love so many people have subscribed to the channel. We love that you're liking the videos. Follow us because this is going to be a very fun build. We're going to do every single bit of the process here on the channel. We're going to be featuring that lighting kit. Look for a video on that in just the next couple days. Thank you guys so very much, and we'll see you soon.